In episode 9, we asked the question, how do you define your city's brand? And to summarize, there are two parts to this answer. The first is the substance of the definition, and the second is the process that you take to arrive at that definition. So if you didn't watch episode 9, I'd recommend that you stop, go back and watch it, because what we're going to think about, consider in this episode is based on what we considered in the previous episode. Now, there are two common ways organizations try to define what the brand means. In the first, the organization's marketing department engages the services of an external agency. The agency looks at how the organization is promoting itself by reviewing its website, social media profiles, sales literature, and its advertising. It interviews a handful of executives and looks at how the organization's competitors promote themselves. The agency may interview some of the organization's customers, as well as review available secondary research to identify industry trends. At the conclusion of this process, the agency will develop a handful of concepts, which it will then present to the organization's marketing team and possibly to select executive leaders. The agency will take the feedback it receives and refine the ideas and eventually land on a concept that the marketing team and the executive leaders approve. The second typical way organizations define their brand meaning is by trying to tap into their employees' collective creativity and sense of belonging. In one situation, I saw an organization's marketing executive host a slogan competition where employees were invited to offer their suggestions with the incentive of a $50 reward for the phrase that's selected. In another situation, an organization's CEO hosted an all-day executive retreat, during which the members of the executive team brainstormed phrases. At the end of the day, they had generated nearly 200 of them. There were about 10 original ideas, and the rest were marginally different derivatives. Neither of these approaches worked. Both were guided by good intentions and elements of an effective approach, but neither by themselves gave the organization's decision makers the confidence that they needed to select a winner. The first approach with the agency covered key bases and passed the results through a creative filter, but engaged only a small segment of the organization, the marketing team. The rest of the organization, including employees responsible to express the outcome of the process, were not included and were therefore unaware and ambivalent to the outcome. The second approach, while it made an effort to engage the workforce, was superficial. It also failed to take into account operational and competitive factors that shape a brand's successful and sustainable positioning. Now, in both cases, the organization's leaders had little confidence in what they had defined, and as a result, the efforts ended up being long, winding roads that led to dead ends. Now, there's a third way to define your city's brand, the brand purpose way. This approach engages your city's workforce in a meaningful way from start to finish. By distributing ownership in the process at the outset, we dramatically increase the probability that the people who express your brand will take ownership of the outcome. Now, it's not that every person's input will be reflected in the outcome, but by simply soliciting feedback, these people feel included, respected, and part of the process. We merge the insights we gather from interviews, group sessions, and surveys with analysis of your operations, your customers, your competitors, as well as industry trends and your organization's history. We pass what we learn through a creative filter that enables us to deliver a manageable set of highly distilled concepts rather than hundreds of diluted and marginally different concepts. The result is that we save time getting to your destination, which is a compelling, unique, and sustainable brand meaning. And because the process we took, you and the workforce you lead have the confidence to make it your own and move forward. In future episodes, we will pick up the conversation by asking a question: how do you promote your city's brand? Would you like to talk about your city's brand? I would love to listen. Just send me a message and we'll schedule a time. For now, thank you for watching and make me proud by applying what you've learned in the next few days.